Welcome to the Books of the Month show. I am your host, Dr. Marilyn Todman. I have an exclusive interview with none other than the author, Calvin Cassady. How are you doing, Calvin?
I'm doing great.
Good, fantastic. That's just awesome. I'm excited today about being able to do this interview with you today about this exciting book that you have that many people want to know about, want to learn about. It is called Bridging the Gap, a spiritual journey to heaven and back. Many people want to know about the other side, and you're the man that can tell us about it today with your phenomenal book. But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a retired school teacher, actually. I taught school in the public school and the private school, and I taught a little bit at our local university. Right now, I'm currently working as a member of the tribal council for the Seneca Cayuga Nation, which is a federally recognized Indian tribe in northeast Oklahoma.
Awesome. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
I was raised in, well, all over. I mean, my parents were educators and we moved around quite a bit, but most of my life's been spent in the Joplin, Missouri area. Today, I live with my wife in Carl Junction, Missouri, which is a small town just outside of Joplin.
Okay. Okay. And can you tell me about your upbringing as far as your faith is concerned?
Um, well, I was raised Methodist, but then when I met my wife, I became an Episcopalian. And
Okay.
I've been in that church for a long time, probably 45 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And during the time of your growing up and the time that your younger days, you're still young, of course, the younger days, Calvin, tell me a little bit about as far as your faith, your belief in the is there afterlife? Is there what happens after death? Did you ever ponder and think on any of those matters?
Probably not, probably not as much as I should have. But yeah, I mean, I was raised Christian. Uh, I fully understood how it was supposed to work, but I didn't really realize how it was supposed to work um, until I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And then at the age of 19, something really, really different happened in your life. There was an accident and you literally died. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the accident was close to Branson, Missouri. If you're not familiar with the area, it's very hilly and curvy. And I was with two of my friends, and teenagers are maybe a little rowdy, but I don't think there was a lot of carelessness involved. There was a sun, the sun hit the driver's eyes, and and there's some indication to it there might have been some failure from the vehicle. But at any rate, we drove off the road, hit a culvert, and slammed into a tree. And the car was one of those fiery crashes that you don't hardly even see anymore. But somehow we managed to get out.
All of you managed to get out of the car.
We did. We
Okay.
did.
Amazing.
Well, let me tell you, there's some more amazing than even that. We couldn't have got out of the car by ourselves because everybody was banged up too bad. There were two fellows that were driving like a utility truck that were following us, which we didn't even notice. I mean, nobody can even remember them being there. But they got out and apparently helped us get out of the car, called the authorities and the ambulance, and one of them was like a utility driver, but he was trained in CPR and health, and he picked up a hitchhiker who was a minister. So that's
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds like that was a setup by God or something going on.
kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyway, whenever the highway patrol and the ambulance got there, these gentlemen weren't around anymore. They had gone away. So that kind of, kind of fits into that guardian angel deal.
Actually, that's actually what crossed my mind too. Yeah, it sounds interesting. It sounds as if they were angels. Is
Well, the
that?
more you think about it, it's been 40 some years since that happened, but it's still remarkable. But what happened after that is even more remarkable because I remember being put in the ambulance um, and taken off, but I don't remember anything else about that until after we got to the hospital. But on that ride, that's when the miracle occurred. That's when um, uh, I was in a matter of seconds,
That's actually
and
what
the
crossed my
ambulance
mind
attendant would have
too.
confirmed that at that some point in that trip,
Yeah, it
uh,
sounds
they did
interesting. It
lose me
sounds as
for a
if
little
they were
while, not very long, but
angels.
just a little while. And then I was revived. By the time I got to the hospital, I was conscious again. But what happened on route was whenever you they talk about the light. Well, it started out in dark, cold, imperfect. But as I moved forward, and there was obviously a transference.
Mhm.
As I moved forward, things started to warm up a little, and there was first a faint light, and then a bright light, and along the way, my life kind of, they talk about it flashing. It didn't really flash. It just kind of appeared in little segments until I reached a part where um, I I was kind of anxious because I kind of knew what was going on, and I was kind of, we all have sins, and we all, and when you're on that route, you're a little concerned. But by the time I entered into the light, those concerns were all gone, and uh, to me, in retrospect, that was maybe the most remarkable thing of all, because
Mhm.
we talk about our sins being forgiven, but until you see them gone, until you see them not there anymore, not a part of you,
Mhm.
uh, that's another significant confirmation of what we believe. Um, but on arrival, and this was not verbal. My communications with God were through the heart. But the message was clear.
Mhm.
Those who believe in me shall have eternal life, and just like that, it just opened up
Mhm.
into the most calmest, peacefulest place I could even describe. And I tried to describe it in the book, but I can tell you that it's not near
Mhm.
what it actually was. And but I was 19 years old, and it, you know, people say, well, whenever somebody dies, they've got to feel bad about the people that they're leaving behind. Well, that's true, you do, um, but there, you got to look what's in front of you also, which were, like I said, indescribable. But I figured at 19 years old, uh, I could do a lot of good. I was trained to be an educator, and I was just, we just kind of bartered around a little, and the agreement was if I went back, that my mission in life would be to help people,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
and then then there was the return, which was just about as dramatic as the ascension. except it was going the wrong way. I mean, as soon as I started back, it started to get unclean. You know, when you entered back into, you know, the earthliness, you begin to feel, you know, you lost this. You returned to anxious stage. But
Wow.
you didn't know what was. You didn't know. You know. You knew. Okay. You know what it's like, but you know what you left. And but when you get back, you don't. You realize that what you left was not near as. I mean, there's a lot of tugging going on for your decisions and choices, and you know, when you feel the devil come back into your life, you understand that that's just as real as the other side, and that's something that we fight with all the time.
So let's go back for a moment here, Calvin, if you will. Let's go back here. In that place of light, I'm sure that the viewers would want to know, was there anything that you could, I know you spoke with God through spirit to spirit, but was there anything that you saw visibly?
Oh, it was like the perfect country scene you could ever have. There was you know, a babbling brook, and there were beautiful trees that you know, aroma that filled the air. There was mountains. It was just a creation of God. I mean, you know, it was the ultimate. But no people that I, you know, at that stage, I'm just saying, I'm just telling you what I experienced.
Yeah, right.
A lot of peace, and that's the part that I mean, a peace like you can't acquire on Earth.
Okay. Did you see any family?
Did I? Did I see my family?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm confused.
Okay, when you said that you saw that your spirit was talking with God
Yeah.
in the light, did you see anything else in regarding to heaven, like family, friends?
No, I
Okay.
didn't. I felt they were there, but I didn't see them.
Okay, you just had a knowing that they were there, but you didn't actually.
This is real. You know, you're talking about some confusion too. I mean, you know, when this happens, and I'm sure it happens to everybody pretty much the same way.
Yes.
But when you're young, you're confused. You're thinking,
Yes.
but you understood. I understood what was going on.
Yes. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to find out exactly what is going on or what was going on and more about your book. We'll be right back.
Does this sound familiar? You make the minimum payment, but the balance is still the same. You make a payment a few days late. Here come the late fees, past due notice, and the collection calls. We understand dealing with debt problems is not easy. It is stressful and hard, not only for you, but for your loved ones, your family. You're not alone, but you must understand debt problems only get worse unless you take action. If you owe more than $10,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, please take a minute and call the number on the screen. Learn about programs that have helped thousands of people get out of debt. Reduce your monthly payments, cut interest, and even settle your debt for a lot less than you owe. Save thousands. Get your life back. Call the number on the screen now. It's a free call, free information, and most importantly, you will have options. Remember, waiting will not make the problem go away. Call us. Our lines are now open.
So, you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So, pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U, for an independent you.
Welcome back. I am here with Calvin Cassady. Calvin, what a phenomenal book that you've written about your trip to heaven. And so we're going to get back into this, and tell us a little bit about the journey back to planet Earth. Tell me more.
Okay. This is, just as quickly as things turned upwards, things turned downward. And, you go back and, you don't feel like you're falling. You just feel like you're moving from, and we're talking seconds, not minutes. But, the light starts to fade.
Wow.
And the warmth starts to diminish, and pretty soon you're back into that darker, darker, cooler part of where I started. And I didn't, there was a separation from the devil at some stage, which was interesting. But then that creeps back in as you come back, and then you start out ultimately at peace, and then as you move back, you're starting to feel this anxiousness, this uncertainty, this confusion, and then when I woke up, I was in the hospital. But when I woke up, I was surrounded by my family, my mom and my dad, and we was in the in the area, in the intensive care area of the hospital, and and when you open your eyes, of course, you see that bright light of the surgeons that are working on you, and that's you're thinking, what's going on here for sure. But then as I settled into the hospital, there were other, it was a Catholic hospital, and my healing was, I always felt like the nuns and the priests were a part of my assigned healing. But on that hospital stay, which was probably between 2 and 3 weeks, that was a time to try to sort out things, try to say, man, what happened to me? But I continued to get, some support from family and the people there at the hospital and the doctors, and pretty soon I was on the way to heal, on my way to healing. But I knew, when I left the hospital, that things would be, go back to being a challenge of being on Earth and living with decisions about, what's right and wrong, and making the right choice, and having that ability, the free will ability, but knowing that can get you in trouble just as much as it can allow you to achieve your goals.
Yes, yes. So this is really interesting here. Did you ever feel a sense of wanting to find that peace again, or trying to capture that peace that you witnessed in heaven? Did you try to find that same kind of peace, or as far as with God?
The peace with God is something that's internal. And it's spiritual, and I think that'll always be with me. But achieving it is going to be difficult as long as you're earthly. But the upside to it is knowing it can help you express it when you're dealing with people that might have doubts, or people that might be going through issues. Or they have a loved one that's end of life. So I felt like that was a plus. I can kind of help them through bad times with some assurance that you know, that everything's going to be, fine, that death's nothing to fear. Um, and it's, but before all this happened, I don't think I could have done that. I mean, I wouldn't have known for sure. And I wouldn't, I mean, right now, I'm kind of drawn to things like that now.
This is so amazing. So, where are you today with this now, with your book? Are you doing any seminars or anything of that nature to talk with people about getting their life together, because there is life after death?
Well, I'd like to, but I haven't yet.
I think that would be wonderful.
That's why we're doing the publicity and trying to keep the name and the idea out, because the people most of the people that I know that have read the book are, I mean, they're very complimentary, and that's, you expect a little bit of that, but I think the part, some people will say, I don't, I'm your friend, but I don't really believe any of this stuff you're telling me, I think you're a little over the top. And I can understand that. I mean, some people have trouble with miracles, but I mean, I can tell them, that you're looking at a living, breathing miracle, because I was pretty much on death's door.
Yeah.
And also, you can go out, do my teaching career. I was able to help lots of young people, and there's two parts to knowing about heaven. One is that you can help people, but two, it makes you able to receive. I mean, we had, I had some health issues, and then I've had some health issues lately, but you're scared because everybody is. But as you settle in, you realize, who do I turn this over to, and who's going to help? There's people here that are to help me. When our house was blown away or severely damaged in a tornado, whenever you're a giver, it's kind of hard to people just come and say, you just take it easy. We're going to help you through this. And, it's easier to surrender, because that being a Christian, there's two parts. One is listening and one is doing. And so that has made me, better at both. But, each, day of life's still confusing. You can't decide. You just have to pray and hope that you'll receive the guidance you need. And most of the time I do. I mean, I feel like I do. I mean, sometimes things will look really bleak, and then for some reason, which I understand, things will clear up again, and you can see see the future. So I really experience.
Beautiful. Well, I tell you, what a book. This is definitely going to be able to really bless a lot of people, to be encouraged about the afterlife. That is not the end. It is just a transition, and I'm sure it would be a blessing to many people. But before we close out, there's one thing I want to ask you, Calvin. What was your most exciting chapter in the book that you wrote?
Well, most exciting chapter was probably the one where I explained about the transition. But then every single bit of it was exciting. And, looking back, I mean, I was just looking through it before we got on the air. And, sometimes I look at it and say, man, where did I learn to express myself like that? But then there's an answer for that too. I mean, I think God probably had his fingers on the computer keys as I was zipping through.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. Well, this is amazing, and you're an amazing man. You're really blessed, and apparently very special. You're very special to God, to allow you to get to heaven and return back here to tell the story. So that's just amazing, because we need more people like yourself. God knows that people like yourself that have had that visit to heaven and the opportunity to come back and tell the story is much needed in such a hurting and lost world. So if there's anything that you could say to our viewers today to encourage those that their loved ones have gone on, and there may be some people that are asking questions with uncertainties and so forth, what is it that you can say to these people today?
I would just say, pray. God will answer your prayers. He'll give you that comfort you need. Over time, I have some relatives that are going through some difficult times, and you just got to encourage them to at things, you'll get the answers to your prayers. That's and have faith and prayer. That would be my recommendation.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can't get any better than that, faith and prayer. And Calvin, I want to thank you so much for being our guest today on the Books of the Month show. You have really inspired me and inspired a whole lot of other people. So we would encourage you to get a copy of this book. Many of you are wondering about the other side, and he has some answers for you, and it can give you some peace. And we'll see you next time on the Books of the Month show.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. And all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. Independence U for an independent you.
Does this sound familiar? You make the minimum payment, but the balance is still the same. You make a payment a few days late. Here come the late fees, past due notice, and the collection calls. We understand dealing with debt problems is not easy. It is stressful and hard, not only for you, but for your loved ones, your family. You're not alone, but you must understand debt problems only get worse unless you take action. If you owe more than $10,000 in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, please take a minute and call the number on the screen. Learn about programs that have helped thousands of people get out of debt. Reduce your monthly payments, cut interest, and even settle your debt for a lot less than you owe. Save thousands. Get your life back. Call the number on the screen now. It's a free call, free information, and most importantly, you will have options. Remember, waiting will not make the problem go away. Call us. Our lines are now open.